Hey, hi all. So this is Vignesh, and I'm gonna present you agents from scratch. First, I would like to explain you what is agents from scratch, right? Okay, it's not yet another again new framework, or I wouldn't even call it a library. It's a simple single script repository um, where like people can actually understand how agents are built and what is an agent, how an agent is built, how does it look internally. It's an extremely simple repo. It just has one single main file. It's called agent.py, which contains all the code that you would like to understand. And it's also a very simple. It's actually a very lightweight fork of OpenAI Swarm. Swarm is already very straightforward, but I made it even more simpler, so it's much easier for anyone to get started. And I removed off some of the uh, stuff which could make it bloated and made it very lightweight. So it's 100% Python. Okay, the first thing is whom is this for? This is for software developers and machine learning, or like let it be whoever, like whoever could read a piece of code and understand what it is, right? People who would like to understand what an agent is and how to build one by themselves, right? They are the target audience. Um, and the second thing is, what can this do for you? There's a single script called agent.py. It's a very easy read. One can simply read it and understand how it works, right? So overall, an agent is simply an LLM which can take up a goal, and it has access to certain tools. It utilizes those tools dynamically to accomplish that goal. What it In addition to that, it is connected to the environment. Therefore, whenever it performs a certain set of actions, it can get a feedback from it, from the environment, and then try optimizing towards the goal. Let's take up a very simple example. You have a weather agent, an agent which gives you an information about the weather. So you can simply say that, hey, go ahead and find the weather in Brussels right now and send me an email. That's it. You don't have to tell it like, hey, you don't have to tell it like, this is the sequence of getting an email, this is the sequence of getting a weather information, or whatever it is, right? It's pretty straightforward. You can just go ahead and give it the necessary tools, saying that, hey, here is a tool with which you can call weather, and here's a tool with which you can weather API, and here is a tool with which you can send an email. That's it. And then when you give it a goal, it sees, for example, if you straightforward ask a question like, hey, what is the weather right now in Brussels? It simply calls the weather API and gets the response back and gives it to you. Whereas when you say that, hey, can you send me an email about the current weather information, what it does is it knows that it's very smart to figure out by itself that first I have to go and fetch the weather information via the weather API, and then go ahead and get the email of the user because I don't have access to it. And once I have both this information, then I can send an email. So this is an agent, right? The cool part about an agent is you assign it a goal and a bunch of tools. It figures out a logic by which it should call those tools in order to accomplish that goal. So in this repo, we have two examples. One is a single agent, the other one is a multi-agent example. You can have a look at them. And in the agent.py file, there is a very simple class called Swarm. It implements four functions. The first one is get chat completion, which is to call an LLM and get back a response. The other one is to call tools, which is handle tool calls. The third one is to, once you call the tools and you get back the response of the tool, how do you process the response of the tool? And then finally to run the whole loop in uh, whole logic in loops, right? So this is it. Again, this is not a framework or something. It's a very simple Python file with which people can get started, and you can go ahead and just git clone and start using it. Here are very simple instructions with which you can get started. What you could do next is, once you have understood, hey, how this is how an agent is built, you can try building your own agent. Probably, I don't know, anything that could help you automate your work, right? Uh, and good luck. Thank you.